Hey guys, this is Dylan from Noble Records. As usual, start off the video, show you guys what we got on the turntable. This is Led Zeppelin, The Last Brawl. It's live in Oakland, July 1977. Pretty cool stuff. If you guys follow me on Instagram, a lot of people have been on me about making a video. I just bought a huge collection from a guy, so I kind of wanted to give it some time so I could process what I've got. And I honestly don't even know if I'm any closer to understanding what I have. I'm just so overwhelmed with stuff. I'm still finding stuff and still like realizing, oh gosh, I've got this, I've got that. So anyways, here's the story. So I was at work the other day and I got a call from somebody. She said she got her phone number from somebody else that I had bought a record collection from years ago, which I don't have any idea who that was. But anyway, she said she got her number off somebody else and said that I was really fair and nice and easy to deal with. So she recommended me to buy the record collection. So she called me and she said, hey, I'm having a estate sale on Saturday. Just want to let you know I've got a bunch of records if you want to come out and look at them. And I was like, well, I'd love to. And I said, would you be interested in let me look at them beforehand so I can, I'll try to buy all of them if they're what I'm looking for. And so she said, absolutely. So she let me come over. It was her dad had passed away, and he had just, well, she told me on the phone, she said that he had 200 rock and roll albums. And I said, do you know kind of what type of rock and roll? And she said, it's just really weird stuff. So that piqued my interest because I like the weird stuff. And I told her that. I was like, that's great. So the weirder the better. So I get over there, go up, there's a whole spare bedroom and it's got records all on the floor. I realized when I get there that my car's not big enough to carry all these records. There's not 200 or 600. The records were fine. I could have got them in my car, but looked through the records, and she said, I'm going to take these down to the yard sale and ask $1 each for them. What would you do? And I was like, well, I think that they're a little better than that, and I offered her something I thought was fair, and she thought it was very fair. And so I started to load the records up in the car, and she said, I've got this whole closet full of CDs. And I don't know if you do CDs. I was like, I don't do CDs. I had an experience with CDs a few years ago. I tried to sell them. It did not go well. I just did not. I don't have any interest in CDs. Sorry. And she said, well, I don't want to carry all these down to the yard sale because I don't know that they'll sell. And, my dad was really meticulous. Like, he had a ledger of everything that he bought and kept all his receipts. And he was very meticulous and very clean about everything. And the CDs are clean and they're all in really good shape. Some are still sealed. And I just kind of glanced in the closet. Looked like they were pretty decent. I mean, they weren't too bad. So I said, man, I really just, what do you want for them? And if it's a good enough offer, I'll do it. And she said, how about $50 for the whole closet? And the closet's full. And I was like, well, I guess I can't lose at that. I'll do it for $50. And so I load all of my car up. It's packed. I have a Ford Expedition. It was packed. The entire thing was full. I had to come back the next day to get everything else. But anyway, so this guy, as I was looking through the records, I was like, man, this guy must have been a guitar player. And she said, yeah, he was. And I told her several things about him, like that I could tell about his personality, but just because of the records he had. Like, that's one cool thing about buying a record collection is you really get to know a lot about somebody you've never met just from their taste and how they organize it and all that stuff. It's really cool. So got the records home and I just kind of tried to organize everything because my record room in here is slam full of records. Just anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll go ahead and get into some stuff that I got. In this video, there's going to be two parts. I'm going to do, my first part is just kind of, I want to tell you guys a story of what happened. And then I wanted to tell you, just kind of show you some of the stuff that I'm keeping. So this is kind of like a vinyl finds video too. I've gotten a lot of upgrades and a lot of stuff I've been looking for, like a lot of stuff that are on my want list that I've been wanting to fill gaps in my collection, stuff that I used to have and sold and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to fill some of those gaps. This first one is Fleetwood Mac. This is a first US press. If you guys have a glare on that, I'm sorry. I put a sleeve over it because it's in shrink. I wanted to protect the shrink. A lot of these are still in shrink. A lot of them were still sealed, so really cool. Second one is Grateful Dead self-titled mono, original pressing. And I actually have another copy of this. This is an upgrade copy for me, and so is the Fleetwood Mac. Both of those I'm going to sell, but these are upgrade copies. Auto Salvage. I've been looking for this one for a long time. It's crazy. Found one in this collection. Allman Brothers Band, Out of Wild South. I used to have this, and I sold it. I regretted it ever since. Got both the Wild Angels soundtracks, Debbie Allen and the Arrows. I got Vehicle, Odds of March. I got an upgrade copy of Bubble Puppy, so I do have another copy of Bubble Puppy available. It's kind of a VG copy. It's not as good. I got an upgrade copy of Moby Grape Jam. This is a super clean copy. Cleanest copy I've ever seen. I have another copy that's available. This one, so excited about. This is Blue Cheer, new improved. I have been looking for an upgrade copy. I found a copy of this for $1 somewhere, and just have been dying to find a better copy. Mine's just beat up. This is the only Blue Cheer album that has Randy Holden, which is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Incredible. He didn't play on much, but so I've been looking for that to upgrade copy because mine is kind of beat. Really cool outside inside Blue Cheer. This is a really, really cool record. Oh man, I didn't realize this one. He put the hype sticker in here. He did a lot of stuff like that. He was really meticulous. The stuff that wasn't in shrink, he kept the shrink inside, so that's a really cool copy of that. I've got another copy of this. Actually, I think that this one I'll sell. This one's exactly like my other copy, so it's in similar condition, stuff like that. This one's an upgrade copy for me. Free Fire and Water. This is Blues Jam in Chicago, Fleetwood Mac, Otis Spann, Willie Dixon, J.T. Brown, Honey Boy Edwards, and S.P. Leary. This is really cool. I heard about this a while back. This is a white label promo too. Sweet. I heard about this a while back. Really well. It's actually volume 2. I've got volume 1. I'm debating on it. I have this rule. I don't keep sealed records. I always sell them. If I really want the record that bad, I'll just buy one that's already open because, I don't know. Is that a stupid rule? That might be a stupid rule. I finally found this one, the Amboy Dukes. This one's in killer shape, in the shrink. Beautiful cover. Absolutely awesome. Listened to this the other day. Love it. This is the cleanest copy of For Your Love I have ever seen. It's in the shrink. Near mint. Beautiful. I had it years ago. Sold it. Always regretted it. This is another Blue Cheer. This is BC5, the original Human Being. This is in shrink, near mint. Beautiful, beautiful copy of this. This is Fleetwood Mac, English Rose. Any Fleetwood Mac that has Peter Green on it, try to grab that up. I've been looking for that one for a really long time. That was near mint and shrink. Here's Grapefruit Around. I've been looking for this one for a long time. This is a psychedelic classic. Really glad to have that one's in shrink, obviously. Blues Magoo's Electric comic book. This has the comic book and everything. It's in the shrink. I actually have never had this one. It's always been kind of on my list. I know it's not expensive, but I've never seen one. It's kind of one I want to find out in the wild, and I've never seen it. Here's another one, Blues Magoo's Psychedelic Lollipop. This is a really cool one. Never had it. It's in the shrink. Sweet. Good shape. Got Rory Gallagher Live. I always keep Rory Gallagher if I don't have it already. Same with Johnny Winter. Johnny Winter Live in Texas. Here's another Amboy Dukes in the shrink. This is Migration. I didn't have this one previously, so excited. This is a Spirit. Didn't have it. Have most other Spirit. This is Johnny Winter's Story. Rory Gallagher. This is the Irish Tour 74. Actually, I don't know if I've ever even seen this one. So Rory Gallagher put out so much stuff, and I'm always finding Rory Gallagher stuff that I've never seen before. So that's really cool. This is Johnny Winter, White, Hot, and Blue. This is another one I've not seen before. I don't know. It doesn't really look like it's that good, but it's Johnny Winter, so whatever. This one actually didn't have a copy of this. I haven't had a copy of this for a really long time. This is Vanilla Fudge, The Beat Goes On. I had it years ago. Don't know what happened to it. This one is the Yellow Pages. This is a psychedelic record. I don't know much about this, but I saw that it was on Uni, and it looks psychedelic, and sure enough it is. So I'm excited to give that a spin. This is The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. I've had so many copies of this, and for some reason right now I don't have a copy. So I've been looking for another one. If you don't have this record, find it. It's awesome if you like Psych. This is another one. I found this years ago at a yard sale and sold it. I don't know what I was thinking, but finally found another copy. This is the Captain Beyond with the holographic cover. This is another Captain Beyond, Sufficiently Breathless. This is a white label promo too, so really cool. This is Captain Beyond, Dawn Explosion. I'm trying to blow through these really quick, guys. This is Eric Clapton and the Yardbirds live with Sonny Boy Williamson. I used to have this, but I had a different cover. And so I sold it. Really happy to have that back. There's a lot of Yardbird stuff in here. Really stoked to have them. Yardbirds Rave Up. This one's really cool. This is an original and epic. Really, really clean copy. It's funny, in Charlotte there used to be, I guess there's a chain of stores called the Record Exchange. I'm sure you guys have heard of it if you're from the area. I always see Record Exchange tags on records all the time, and they never are ever priced. I mean, even the really good like Psych records and stuff are never priced more than like $6. I never see a price tag more than like $6. If you can see that one, it's 15. So really cool. And sometimes it'll say like G+. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be trashed. And look at the vinyl, and it's like pristine. It's funny. This is a Yardbirds double LP featuring Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, all that. This is really cool. I had that a while back. I don't know what happened to it. It's gone now. This is another Yardbirds original and epic. Little Games. This is a really clean copy. I have a Record Store Day copy with the splatter vinyl that I'm probably going to get rid of, because when you have an original like this, I'm not going to play that one anymore. Let's just be honest. This is a live Yardbirds. This one's just stellar condition in the shrink. Beautiful. Lord Such, kind of a goofy record. Not really a terribly good record. This one's notorious for having, it's Lord Such and heavy friends. He's got some heavy friends. One of them won't play on this record is Jimmy Page. You also have John Bonham. You also have Jeff Beck, Noel Redding, Nicky Hopkins. The list goes on. This one is really cool to have just because I like Led Zeppelin, and what do you do? This guy had a ton of Jeff Beck. So I'm not huge on Jeff Beck, but I do pick up stuff that's cool that I haven't seen before. But this one's called Everything You Always Wanted to Hear by Jeff Beck, but Were Too Afraid to Ask For. I thought this was really cool. Turns out, this is like a promotional thing. It's white label promo. This is also, they had this for a lot of different artists. I think they had one for Elton John, and so the cover would be the exact same, but the gray name would be just whatever artist it was. So that was cool. I'd never seen that before. I have so many copies of this. Traffic, self-titled. I think I have 5 copies of this, but this one is absolutely mint. I never see it in really good shape. This kind of same goes for this Mr. Fantasy. I never see this in great shape. This one's in the shrink. That's an upgrade copy for me, as is the other one. Wes, Bruce, and Lang. I actually had never seen this one before. And this one's not a terribly expensive record, as like most Leslie West records are. To me, the standout, I know Jack Bruce is on this, but the standout is Leslie West. Anything he plays on, I'm on it, man. I looked that up. I thought it was going to be worth a ton of money. You can probably get one for like $6. But, you know, I love it. I love Leslie West. I haven't spun that yet. But anyways, this one's one that's been on my want list I've been wanting. Otis Spann with Fleetwood Mac. So excited to find this. Been looking for it for a while. Like I said, anything with Peter Green on it. This one, Killing House. You know, it's an older Fleetwood Mac, so I picked it up. There's a lot of Fleetwood Mac in there. Steve Howe, Beginnings. Super Blues. Been looking for this one too. Bo Diddley, Muddy Waters. Little Walter. Some cool stuff, man. Love that cover. It's so like psychedelic, man. I mean, for a blues record. This one, oh my gosh. So, I had this one and sold it because you can normally find it. I mean, I've had a ton of copies, but like probably a year or two ago, I sold it. And expecting to find another one. Haven't seen one since. Obviously, that's how it goes. Found one a couple weeks ago. Was so excited. I was in a collection. When I got home, the wrong record was inside. You guys know the drill. But this is Frigid Pink. I have Defrosted, but I didn't have self-titled, and it's so funny how that goes sometimes. And you know what? I'm just not gonna break down and buy a copy on eBay like a quitter. You know, I really wanted to find an original. This one's like cleanest copy I've ever seen. In shrink, near mint vinyl, just sweet. This is NAS 3, guys. Didn't have NAS 3. Only had the first NAS. No, I only had the second NAS. You know, the one on red vinyl. When you're always looking for the one on black vinyl and you never freaking see it. Yeah, I have that one. The first NAS. Been looking for this one. Haven't had a copy for years. Free Heartbreaker. Nothing to write home about. Just needed it. The Free Story. Has Kassav on it, so I got it. Whitesnake, had this one a few years ago. You know what? Sometimes you gotta be in the mood for it. But sometimes you just want to throw on Still the Night. You know what I mean? Let's do the night. You know, you get that. You know, sometimes it's a feeling that I get. You know, sometimes, especially if I'm driving down the road, which doesn't help if I want to listen to a record. But you know, you're getting it. And you're like, I can do this. This world is mine. I can conquer this world. Put on some Whitesnake. Unbelievable. It's great stuff. Had that record, and for some reason I never see it, and I sold it, and now it's back. So this is a bootleg. Rolling Stones. This is the greatest band on earth. I think this is what it's called. Yeah, the greatest group on earth. I've had this bootleg before, but it's funny. The cover is just like a handout or whatever from. It's like a Rolling Stones fan club. So I don't know. Pretty cool. Guys, this one, I don't call it a grail, but I've been looking for this one for a long time. It was so, when I found it, laid a big brown egg. I was so excited. Who Sings My Generation? I could finally get rid of the double album comp that I had because now I have this. You guys know what I'm talking about. The double album that has the compilation. I think it's the Who's Generation and Happy Jack. I don't like to have stuff like that because it's super lame. But just man, I'm so excited about this. Which brings me to the next one, Happy Jack. I've never seen either one of these by themselves. I've always seen that compilation of the two. This one's not in super good shape. It's kind of beat up a little, but still probably hang on to it. You guys know this bad boy. It's got the sweet holographic cover. This is an original. And actually, like, he left the shrink in here. He left everything in here intact. It's in perfect shape. Stoked to have that one again. Have had it, but no, I don't have it right now. The Illusion, If It's So. Just another Psych record I see around. Didn't have it. Oh gosh, this is another one. I've been looking for this for a long time. Seeds, self-titled, man. I never see this record around, and people rant and rave about it. And I've never had a copy. I've always wanted one. I don't buy things online too much. I really try to find things out in the wild. We're nearing the end here, guys. We're getting there. This is Canned Heat, Living the Blues. This is a 2 LP. I've never seen this before. It's in the shrink. Really, really nice copy. Like I said, I've never seen it before, so. But anything by Canned Heat, anybody with a brain picks it up, because dadgum, it's good. Live Kinks, didn't have a copy of this. It's in shrink. It's beautiful. Kink Size, same here, beautiful copy. Didn't have it. Every One of Us, Eric Burdon and the Animals. Didn't have it. Eric Burdon and the Animals, Twain Shall Meet. This one's kind of in shrink. You know when you're at that point where you're like, I probably should just take this crap off because it's driving me nuts. That's where that one's at. Chicken Shack, Imaginary Lady, White Label Promo. Didn't have this. Obviously, when I see a good blues rock record, snatch that bad boy up. Never heard of this. Chris Yolden, Nowhere Road. This is a White Label Promo. This is supposed to be blues rock. I'll be the judge of that. This one's really, really cool. Solid Bond. This one has Graham Bond, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, John McLaughlin on it. Never seen this before. Had some great names on it, so I kept it. This one's Coliseum Live. This is a radio station, White Label Promo. Really cool. Copy of that. This is Eric Burdon, Declares War. I can't tell you how many copies I've had of this, but I haven't had one recently. Merriweather, Word of Mouth. Never seen this record, never heard of it, but looked really interesting. Looked it up online, looked like something I'd really like to hear. What's Shakin', The Lovin' Spoonful. Pretty much picked this up because I'm not a big Lovin' Spoonful kind of dude, but it has the Paul Butterfield Blues Band in there, so, you know, thought I'd give it a spin. Chuck Berry live at Fillmore Auditorium, San Francisco. This is really cool, psychedelic looking cover. It's on Mercury. I just couldn't pass up keeping this. I mean, obviously you didn't pass it up because I bought the whole collection, but you know, sometimes you got to keep a few. And you know, I know I've kept many from this collection, so I kept that one. This one, you guys are probably not even believe I don't have. But I've been looking for this one for a long time, and I never found a clean copy. Wow. Grape Jam, wow. Man, I saw this. I was so excited because I remember the morning I bought this collection, I was like, man, you know, I was listening to this album. I was like, I really would like to have a copy of that on vinyl. And it just happened. Oh, this is some cool stuff. I've never seen these before. This is the British Archive series, Blues for Collectors. It's these I don't know if they're compilation albums, I guess, but this one says Albert Lee, Dave Kelly, Rod Stewart, skipping over some other ones, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page. It says Jimmy Page on it, I buy it. This is volume 4. This is volume 3. This one has Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, Nicky Hopkins. This one's got that same like cool die cut type of cover, but this is in the shrink. This is volume 2. Oh wow, this is still sealed. Okay, it's got Savoy Brown, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page. It's that die cut cover, still sealed. Sometimes when I see them, they're still sealed. I'm like, damn, do I open them? If I don't open them, I sell them. I do not keep a sealed record because it's just as like keeping a stallion in a stable its whole life. It just needs to run. You know what I mean? Savoy Brown Blues Band with Eric Clapton, John Mayall, the Blues Breakers, Stonemasonry. This is another one of those. This is volume 1. So I've got all 4 volumes. Didn't even know what it was. It's really cool. I'm gonna take a deeper look into that. But this is this looks like a compilation called Raw Blues. John Mayall, Eric Clapton, Otis Spann, Peter Green. You know, it said John Mayall, Eric Clapton, and Peter Green on the cover. So I was like, yes, thank you. Don't mind if I do. This one I never heard of. This is the best of Buffy Sainte-Marie. There was a resonator on the front, so I was like, you know, it's probably going to be good stuff. That's a blind buy, guys, or a blind keep, I guess, in this shape. So next I want to show you some CDs I'm going to keep. I do not keep CDs, ever. I don't even think I own a CD, other than ones I've burned and put in my car. But there were some CDs in here that I really wanted to keep. So this is some stuff that I decided to keep. This is a really cool DVD box set of The Song Remains the Same. This Led Zeppelin DVD right next to it to the right. I had that when it first came out, and I sold it years ago. Then there's the Led Zeppelin DVD live at Earl's Court. That's 1975. There's Page and Plant live on tour. You know, we've got, let's see, sorry for the shaky video, guys. This is The Song Remains the Same on CD. This is How the West Was Won, BBC Sessions. This is the box set. Really cool. That was like mint. Jimmy Page and the Black Crows. There's the Yardbirds. I'm really like this stuff. This is it looks like an LP, but it's a CD. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen this one. This is an import. It's really, really cool. King Crimson. So there's, you know, some Pink Floyd, some Jimi Hendrix, some stuff like that. This is actually really cool. Allman Brothers Band concert, and they did this thing called Instant Live back in the day, and this was one of the first concerts I ever went to. Was this tour, and this was the day. This was the day after the concert I went to. Exactly the same. This was in Raleigh. Mine was in Charlotte, the one I went to. So I was really excited to see this. He has another one from New York City. Lord knows, I don't know if he saw them in New York City or what, but I was so stoked to see this. Kind of bummed that it wasn't the one that I went to, but it's the day after. So I was like, man, that's really cool. It's close enough, man. I'm sure the show wasn't that different. One more. This one, Jimi Hendrix Experience. Pretend that didn't happen. When I was a kid, this came out in 2000. When this came out, I remember like really wanting this. And back when this came out, I mean, CDs are still expensive now, I guess. I never buy them, but when this came out, I wanted it so bad. Saved my money up, and I actually never got a copy. And so when I saw this in the collection, I was like, man, that is sweet, and I am keeping it. I'm not keeping much from on the CD side, but I'm keeping it. But this guy had, he had, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this, but there's a closet full of CDs. I think my estimation, which I can tell you exactly how many records I'm looking at, but CDs is a different story. I think it's somewhere between, I know this is a wide range, somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 CDs. I don't know. I'll let you guys know when I get into it. But as I'm going through the CDs, a lot of the CDs are still sealed. And then I'll probably just put those on eBay or something. I don't know. If you guys are looking for any CDs, if you guys are into CDs, holla. Because I got literally everything you could imagine. Especially if it's classic rock or prog. I got every Led Zeppelin album, obviously. I got every Pink Floyd. I've got I'm not joking or exaggerating. I've got probably somewhere around 60, 75 Jimi Hendrix CDs. Just Jimi Hendrix. This guy was a guitar fanatic. He loved guitar players. But what's kind of weird, first of all, if I had what he has on CD on vinyl, I could retire. He has some incredible stuff on CD. He did not have, what's really weird when you buy collections like this, he had a bunch of Doors CDs, but he didn't have any Doors vinyl. Not anything from the Doors on vinyl. He had he had so many King Crimson CDs I've never even heard of before. I mean, like, ridiculous stuff. He does not have one King Crimson record in here. He had every single Frank Zappa album I've ever seen, and a bunch I have never seen, like live recordings, crazy stuff. I mean, I've had a lot of Zappa in my life. This guy, every CD you could imagine, but he only had one Frank Zappa on vinyl. So, you know, it's kind of a mystery to me how that happens. You know, what the daughter said was that he, at a certain point, he just stopped buying vinyl and started buying CDs, which makes sense, I guess. Maybe he just didn't like that stuff until that point in time. She said it was about 85. She said he boxed up the records and he put them in the closet and never touched them again. So so these have not been played in 30 years. So it's kind of a bummer because some of the stuff are really cool. I kind of wish I could have on vinyl. But I'll show you guys some of the King Crimson stuff. And I mean, he has every Rush CD. It's crazy stuff. He's got so many Yes CDs, different shows and concerts. He's got tons of box sets. Literally, I mean, it is overwhelming the amount of stuff this guy had. I still have not even scratched the surface of the CDs. I still don't even know what's all there. So stay tuned for my second video. It'll be really quick, just flipping through stuff. The rest of this stuff is Psych, it's Prog, it's classic rock, Pink Floyd. There's a bunch of Led Zeppelin stuff. Oh man, I forgot to show it, but I got a really sweet copy of Led Zeppelin 2, the Robert Ludwig mix. Hot mix, man. I've been looking for that. I had a copy, sold it a few weeks ago. I was kind of bummed about it. Never see him. Found it on. It's a really sweet copy. But anyways, I'm going to stop babbling on. Hopefully this gives you guys a picture of this collection and the way this guy was. Another thing I want to say, he like kept receipts from everything. Like all our records, there's receipts from when he bought them, like in the 70s. And almost all of his CDs, there's a receipt from where it came from. So I'm seeing, what year this stuff was bought, how much it cost when he bought it. I mean, this guy literally probably spent in the ballpark of 20 grand on CDs. I mean, it's unbelievable how much he spent on these CDs. And I've never seen somebody who took so much home and never opened it. He left stuff sealed. I've got so many records in here I'm going to show in my next video that are still sealed from the 60s. So, I mean, original Rolling Stones, stuff like that. Really cool. So I'll show you guys that stuff in the next video. Stay tuned. And if you have any questions, comments on anything that you've seen, I'd love to hear some feedback on any of this stuff. Until next time,